Hi, I'm Dr. Clark Gaither. This is the second video in a series on job-related burnout. In the first video, I introduced the topic of job burnout, and in this video, I want to define for you job-related burnout. In 2009, I went to my practice partner, and I told him that I either had to make some changes or I was going to have to quit the practice of medicine. I told him how I felt: overworked, exhausted, dissatisfied, and unappreciated. I no longer felt I was making any difference in the lives of my patients. I had been reading on the subject of physician burnout and was convinced I aptly fit the definition. So I put an action plan together for myself and began taking steps to fix what was broken. The steps I took made all the difference. I began to enjoy the practice of medicine again. I developed a new patience for my patients. Energy returned. I felt more at peace. I became hopeful for the future again. I began to achieve a more balanced life. I wondered if others felt the same as me, so I studied burnout in depth, its warning signs, symptoms, consequences, and treatment. I began to give talks on the subject, and they were well received. I found I was not alone. There are staggering numbers of my colleagues and other professionals suffering from job-related burnout, just as I was. The hallmarks of burnout were determined back in the late 70s and early 80s through the work of Dr. Christina Maslach. The Maslach Burnout Inventory, or MBI, is still the gold standard for measuring burnout in the workplace. There are three principal hallmarks associated with job-related burnout. They are emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and a lack of a sense of personal accomplishment. In varying degree, some combination of these will always be present when someone is burned out at work. Emotional exhaustion is a feeling of being emotionally depleted to the point where you feel you can no longer give of yourself at an emotional or psychological level to your company or the people you serve. The key word is exhaustion. Depersonalization is the development of negative and cynical feelings leading to a callous and dehumanized perception of patients, clients, or customers, which further leads to the view that they are somehow deserving of their problems and troubles. The key word is cynicism. Lack of a sense of personal accomplishment is when you feel so little reward from what you do, there is a tendency to evaluate yourself in negative terms, which leads to dissatisfaction and unhappiness in your work, creating a lack of a sense of personal accomplishment. The key word there is inefficacy. Men and women will register these slightly differently. Women will usually hit all three of these in the order presented. Men will usually get cynical first, followed by emotional exhaustion. Men may or may not hit the third hallmark of a lack of sense of personal accomplishment. Most men will feel their work always has some meaning, at least to them. One thing is certain: if an individual can identify the presence of these hallmarks, they are either burning out or have burned out. I don't have to tell you the costs of job-related burnout are devastatingly high, not only for the individual employee, but the organizations they work for as a whole. We will explore this further in the next video in this series entitled The Scope of Job Burnout and Why It Matters. If you go to my website at clarkgaither.com or click on the link directly below this video, you can download the document page, The 3 Hallmarks of Burnout, for later reference. And thanks for watching.